I know you love earning travel rewards and cash back, and that's why you're going to love Rakuten. With Rakuten, you can earn cash back on everything you need to book your dream trip, hotels, flights, rental cars, experiences, and more, while still booking through your favorite travel sites. And don't worry, cash back can be earned on top of earning the credit card points and the hotel and airline loyalty points that matter most to you, depending on how you make your booking. Plus, with Rakuten, you can also earn cash back on groceries and other purchases like electronics, pet supplies, and more. And the best part, you can join today for free and start earning cash back on top of your travel rewards. Go to Rakuten.com or get the app. That's Rakuten, Rakuten. Rakuten, the most rewarding way to shop.
This episode is brought to you by TaxAct. Don't do your taxes alone. Join TaxAct's National Admin Night. Admin nights are social gatherings for getting through your to-do list. So get ready for a night of fun, finding deductions, and filing taxes with TaxAct, where you can file your federal and state return for just $49 through April 8. Let's get together and get them over with. Visit taxact.com/admin-night for details.
This episode is brought to you by Fandango. People say fans are too distracted these days, but the truth is, when a great movie hits the screen, you show up, you stay glued, invested, part of the story. And without fans like you, there'd be no cinema magic, no shared moments. So head to Fandango.com to get tickets, stream, or rent or buy top movies and series. Fandango loves fans.
That is some audio I took from our annual Julegrans-tenning. That's the community Christmas tree lighting ceremony we do here in Norway, where the community comes together. We have a tree, the lights on, we all hold hands and walk around the tree and sing songs and have warm cider, type of mulled cider, and we eat gingerbread cookies, chat with each other, and the student band comes and plays some songs, as you heard there. It's a lovely tradition, and I mean, the holidays are fueled by tradition. I've always been fascinated by how they can vary from country to country, town to town, even home to home. And why not spend this episode, as we celebrate the holiday season, learning about some of the traditions around the world, which we do today. You're going to hear some funny stories, some really interesting traditions, very unexpected ones, and a great family tradition by my new friends, David and Christy Bock, who are guests of the show today. They sent me an email a while back, and I'll read a little snippet. They said, quote, "Several years ago, as a way to expand the geographic and cultural knowledge of our children, we decided to pick a country once a month to learn and cook recipes from. For the past 4 or 5 years, that practice transitioned into a Christmas around the world tradition in the weeks between Thanksgiving and New Year's. We have attempted to learn holiday traditions and recipes from Japan, Mexico, Germany, Bethlehem, Italy, Spain, England, Philippines, Nigeria, France, New Zealand, Greece, Ukraine, Armenia, the Celtic countries, and the Scandinavian countries. This year, our plan is to do Peru and India and possibly a, quote, best of meal. As I know you like top 10 lists, I figured we could list our candidate dishes for our best of international Christmas meal as part of this interview. And that's just a part of what you're going to hear today. They put together sort of like their dream meal, piece by piece, talking about some of the different dishes they've made. And through that lens of food, we get to explore some of these cultures, internationally as well. I thought this was a fun way to celebrate the holiday season this year. As you may know, if you've been listening to the show, I retired our annual Norwegian Christmas spectacular episodes. We focused on Norwegian Christmas. I usually would drag my wife on the show, and we did some great episodes, and we have 10 years of Christmas episodes. So if you're in the mood for a binge and you just want to hear some holiday cheer, we have all of those in the archives. And just a little teaser, you may get a little something tomorrow in terms of the Norwegian Christmas Spectacular. you'll have to stay tuned into the feed and see. But today, let's get into holiday traditions around the world, the best of international Christmas. Welcome to the Zero to Travel podcast, my friend.
You're listening to the Zero to Travel podcast, where we explore exciting travel-based work, lifestyle, and business opportunities, helping you to achieve your wildest travel dreams. And now your host, world wanderer and travel junkie, Jason Moore.
Hey, it's Jason here with ZeroToTravel.com. Happy holidays to you and yours. We're going to dive right in here. I just want to let you know, if you stick around on the back end, David wrote a letter that he wanted me to read for you to close out this episode, so I will do that and leave you with a quote as well. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter. It's free, ZeroToTravel.com/newsletter. Have a wonderful holiday. Hope you enjoyed this conversation with David and Christy, and I will see you on the other side, my friend. Cheers. David and Christy Bock, welcome to the Zero to Travel podcast, my friends. Nice to see you.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for having us.
We're in our Christmas attire. No, this was great. David, you reached out. You sent me an email, and we were talking about the Christmas special and everything like that. And then you said that one of the things that you do is you both pick a country each month, and then you learn to cook recipes from that country, something you've been sharing with your kids. And you've been doing that for like 4 or 5 years, which is insane. And this is carried over into like the Christmas tradition.
Right. So actually this was her idea, and that started about maybe 7 years ago. Just trying to get the kids to realize where countries were on the globe, and, kind of a family learning experience. And then during COVID, that kind of transitioned into, let's just do like the 3 or 4 weeks before Christmas, instead of just doing a general country thing, doing specific Christmas traditions and recipes from those countries in between the weeks of Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's like kind of a Christmas season weekly thing.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, I mean, are they now geographically sound? Are they?
So our son is 19, sophomore in college. So that has adjusted our schedule on this a little bit because he's not in every single weekend. He's about 4 hours away. And then our daughter's still home. So she's in high school.
Well, like he said, this kind of started in 2017. It was during the kids' summer break. So, we have about that 10-week break between mid-May through the beginning of August. And I was like, well, let's think of something we can do. Our kids are eternally curious, so we used to go to our local library a lot. And so basically we started looking at books about different countries, and we decided we were going to start doing this. So we basically let each child pick a country that they wanted to do, and we read about it. We learned some facts about the country, and then it really took off from there. We started going to finding recipes online and going to the international markets, which became like a field trip per se, to go and find different ingredients and learning how to cook. So it became learning kitchen skills and how to cook and, be self-sufficient in a kitchen, and then just enjoying the time and the meal together. So it really took off.
That's amazing. All right. But this is you can file this under the steal this idea.
Correct. Right.
Anybody listening, I've been doing this Norwegian Christmas spectacular for 10 years. And so when you wrote me this email and you explained what you've been doing, I thought, well, this is a great concept just to put in front of people, like something they can do all year, not just a Christmas or a holiday thing. But also we can have some fun kind of going through the best of the international Christmas meals that you've made over the years. And of course, any tips for this? You guys are much better parents than me, it sounds like, because all of this sounds like such a great thing to do. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything like this right now. What is wrong with me? Okay. Anyway, that's my own issue.
Well, it's not always perfect around here. So
Exactly.
I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing. All right. Well, I guess before we get into the list, what was the last international meal you guys made?
That would have been Armenia.
Armenia, that was last, as far as the last international Christmas meal we made last year. This year, we're going to be doing Peru and India. But yeah, kicking off the end of last Christmas season was Armenia.
That was a choice from our son because he was like, "Did you know that Armenia was the first country to adopt Christianity?" So it was like, kind of took off from there.
Yeah, the first country to celebrate Christmas was Armenia. We loved it. I mean, that was one of our favorite meals.
Yeah, the food was absolutely delicious, and I mean, it was really fun. He has a list of all the things that we made from that country, but usually when we do Christmas, a little bit different from when we did it during the year. We'll pick out our country. We'll kind of have our democratic debate over which country we want to pick, and the whole family kind of decides. And we pick usually, it used to be a lot more, but as the kids have gotten older, it's kind of narrowed down to maybe about 2 that we can get accomplished. And so we picked Armenia. And like I said, we'll cook the meal. We'll look up the recipes. We'll go get all the ingredients. I tend to buy a nativity scene from that country, if I can find it. And also I will usually try to find little local gifts or something made from that country to give my family members during the meal to celebrate that country as well.
Yeah, we'll all have a little Christmas surprise trinket present sitting on the table that she finds either on Etsy or eBay or even some other country website, shipped over, and it goes in. And she's even gotten some little storybooks of Christmas story, like kids stories from different countries.
Yeah, okay. This is
Italy
next level. You're going
Italy
deep.
Italy has I like the one the Italian Christmas witch.
Yes.
Befana.
Yes.
That was a favorite when we had that a few years back. Yeah, so Christy, she really nailed it.
I like a good theme.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I mean, there's also the element I didn't think about, which is going to the international markets. And, like just the exercise in itself kind of could take you to some places in your town or outside of your town that you haven't been to before, or you don't regularly shop, which is kind of gets you that travel feeling too. But also I love these things that, people that are listening to this, I think like, when we're not traveling, we kind of like to get our travel fix every now and again.
Absolutely.
And that's us, because we're always looking for the next trip.
Well, this is the way to do it. All right. So you want to run through this and talk about
another suggestion with that is that another thing we did with these meals is, especially with the kids, not to intimidate people out there, but to be both adventurous, but also accessible. We'll go through recipes and well, they're not going to eat that. They're not going to eat this. Maybe we'll eat that instead. So it doesn't, you can match it to the palates at the table and to the culinary skills of the people involved, as far as trying to pull this off on your own.
Okay. Good point. Yeah. You don't need to go buck wild, to use a term.
Yeah,
to use a term from our generation.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes, because some meals we've made only a couple of dishes, and in other meals we've made 5 or 6 dishes. So it just depends. What's going on?
All right. So let's get into it. I mean, where do you want to start?
So we have done, by the time we're done this year, we'll have done 18 different countries.
Right.
And so the first one we did was Japan, and that was actually our daughter's pick. She was in love with Japan and still has always wanted to visit, was in love with the culture, was even trying to learn Japanese. Very challenging, I shall say. So we started off with that one. And actually that meal, we learned in Japan that Christmas, because there are not many Christians in Japan, tends to be more like what we consider Valentine's Day. So actually a lot of younger couples will go out, they'll go look at the winter lights, they'll go have a nice meal, they'll go rent a hotel room for the night. It's a Valentine's Day kind of celebration. And we also found out, and KFC. We had for our meal, Kentucky Fried Chicken is a big thing in Japan.
Wait, what?
Yes,
okay.
KFC.
and the strawberry cakes.
Yes. So supposedly in Japan in the 1970s, there were some American expats who were looking for a Christmas turkey and were complaining that they couldn't find it. And the closest thing they could probably get to a Christmas turkey would be fried chicken. So they went to their local Japanese KFC. The manager happened to hear this and thought, great idea. So he made some kind of commercial, and they ran this jingle, Kentucky for Christmas, and it just caught like wildfire. So eventually this manager of this KFC became the chief operating officer of the KFC in Japan for his idea. And now everyone in Japan, like, they have long lines. They offer Christmas meal deals and specials and buckets, and KFC is all the rage.
Well, that was an easy one. Did you just go to KFC and get
I
takeout?
did go to KFC.
That was the easiest one we've ever done.
And waited in the rain for my chicken.
That was completely unexpected. I'm thinking like, some kind of rice thing and like, that.
No.
All right. So what was the tchotchke you got? Did you get a?
So for Japan, I ended up getting the little Maneki Neko cats, the little lucky beckoning cats.
Yeah.
And there's
with
a little
the hand
folklore.
That's just going
yes.
like this all the time. Yeah.
There's a little folklore legend that goes with that, a little story that we read. And I also bought chopsticks for that. There is a special kind of Christmas cake they make in Japan, and it's basically like what we would consider a strawberry shortcake. But it's not as sweet, and you put Santa Claus on top.
Sounds delicious. All right. So, and you can class it up if you're eating your fried chicken from KFC with
exactly.
chopsticks.
Surely you can.
Yeah.
It was a very easy meal to prepare. Let's say that.
All right. So anybody out there listening, if they're in the mood for KFC, just there you go.
Japan is the way to go for Christmas.
So do you want us to keep going through every country we did, or we want to kind of jump around?
Well, no, pick give us like your,
our top few.
We can say, we'll say a total of 7. Yeah, we just did one. Like, give us your next sort of like
right. Well,
6 memorable.
Then I'm gonna do the best of meal out of all the countries. We're just kind of generally going through some of the countries just to give you an idea of what we did.
Well, like I said, we've done Mexico. That was very interesting with the legend kind of the poinsettia or poinsettia plant.
All right, tell us about Mexico.
So for Mexico, they have all kinds of wonderful things. They really have a big tradition in their nativity scenes. We focused on, and I had bought a storybook about the legend of the poinsettia, which is basically this young girl and her family are in Mexico, and the mom is chosen to weave a special blanket to put on baby Jesus for the Christmas Mass. And during this time, everyone in the village is getting ready for Christmas, and her mother ends up getting sick. And so she tries to finish the blanket for Jesus herself, but ends up tangling it all up and cannot finish it. So she's very distraught about this. And so as she and her family are going to Mass for Christmas, she sees an older woman who tells her, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. Your mother's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. And she's very upset because she doesn't have any gifts. Everyone in the village brings gifts to the Christ child, and she doesn't have anything to bring. So she ends up picking a bunch of weeds right outside of church to bring as her gift for Jesus. And so when she walks up and presents her gifts and says her prayers, her weeds turn into beautiful red flowers, which are now known as poinsettia flowers. And that's the miracle of the story. And that's kind of how that occurs. And poinsettias are native to Mexico and that region. And actually, poinsettias were introduced to the U.S. by our first minister from Mexico. He actually brought a cutting back in the 1800s to South Carolina. And now poinsettias are very popular all over the U.S. as well as Christmas decorations.
Christy, you know how to tell a story. My goodness. By the way, when you were describing that, and then she, the blanket, it got tangled, she couldn't figure it out, because we already were at KFC, I'm like, is she going to stop at Walmart or something now? Is that where we're going for the next Christmas?
Walmart.
Are we going to Walmart to get something for this Christmas dinner? Okay, good. So we stayed in the... Yeah, all right. We'll get back to the interview in just a moment. I know you love earning travel rewards and cash back, and that's why you're going to love Rakuten. With Rakuten, you can earn cash back on everything you need to book your dream trip, hotels, flights, rental cars, experiences, and more, while still booking through your favorite travel sites. And don't worry, cash back can be earned on top of earning the credit card points and the hotel and airline loyalty points that matter most to you, depending on how you make your booking. Plus, with Rakuten, you can also earn cash back on groceries and other purchases like electronics, pet supplies, and more. And the best part, you can join today for free and start earning cash back on top of your travel rewards. Go to Rakuten.com or get the app. That's Rakuten, Rakuten. Rakuten, the most rewarding way to shop.
Refreshing wild cherry cola meets smooth cream. The treat you deserve. Pepsi Wild Cherry and Cream. Treat yourself.
Now, back to the show.
Let's talk about Spain.
Oh, Spain.
Because they have the Catalonians. Have
Yes.
very interesting.
Spain was really
traditions.
one of our favorites for our children because the stories and the legends are just crazy. So Spain, especially in the Catalonian region, like he is saying, has this thing called Tio de Nadal or Cagatillo.
It's the Christmas pooping log.
Get ready for this.
The Christmas pooping log?
Yes, Christmas pooping log.
Yeah, so that presents fall out of its butt.
So I will tell you.
Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you'll have to explain this because...
Let me get your bearings.
Yeah, let me just... Hold on. Yeah, let me get my head around this. Because when I'm thinking about a pooping log, I'm thinking, is it like a sheet of paper that says what time? Oh, no, it's an actual log. Okay.
It's an
actual physical
log.
piece of wood with a carved out...
cylinder.
Yeah, in the back.
In the back region.
There's a... let's just tell it how it is. There's an anus carved into the log, okay? They were showing me on the screen. So there you go. All right. Okay, hold on. Let's tell me about this, please. Educate us.
Okay. So Cagatillo comes out in the Catalonian region around December the 8th, which is the Feast of the
That's the name of the log?
Yes.
Cagatillo.
Cagatillo.
Cagatillo is the log.
Cagatillo is the name of the log. So anyway, he is brought out on December the 8th, and the children, well, first off, he has a face painted on him, as you saw, like a little funny face. He wears a little red, traditional, like a peasant Catalonian cap. It sort of looks like a Santa cap. And he also has a blanket to keep him warm during the cold nights. So on December the 8th, till Christmas Eve, the children leave out food for Cagatillo and drink, which he eats and drinks during the night. And the food and all that magically disappears. And Cagatillo gets bigger and bigger from all of this eating and drinking as the season goes on. And on Christmas Eve, the children are brought out and they're told to go say prayers for Cagatillo while the parents hide some presents under Cagatillo. And there is a special song that the children sing, which I actually have translated into English if you want me to read it. And they end up hitting Cagatillo with sticks.
You beat Cagatillo.
You beat Cagatillo.
Until the presents
till
come
he
out.
poops out all your presents. And the presents are finished once a clove of garlic or an onion comes out of Cagatillo. That is the end of the gift giving of Cagatillo.
Wow. Okay. So it's kind of like a sort of pinata-ish vibe going on.
Correct.
Yeah, you give him a beat down, and then eventually he poops out the presents, and then you're rewarded for said beat down until the next year when he luckily gets to come out of his hole again and get beat down.
He used to be actually after the children had received their presents and he was done. He used to be actually thrown into the fire and burned.
Oh,
and the ashes were then kept in the house for good luck.
Oh, wow. Dark. I love it. All right. That's great. Yeah. These are the traditions that, I love these sort of, I don't want to call them weird because they're not weird to the people there, right? But when it's something you're not used to.
Exactly.
I love to hear these because there's some, I know last year I heard about the Santa in Iceland. I'm going to butcher it, but it's not really a Santa. There's 20 small
Oh, we have a story about them as well.
Okay. All right. Well, then I won't spoil it.
Yeah, there's the Yule lads.
Well, also in Spain, in the Catalonia region, there is something called a cagané. Have you ever heard of that?
It's the pooping man.
Yes, that is the little man. Tell him.
Yeah, so he has his pants pulled down, and he is squatting and delivering his goods to the nativity scene.
He's a little defecating man in your nativity scene.
So it's a symbolism of fertilizing the earth, for the harvest, good harvest. to come.
Just what I think when I think of a.
Yes.
That's the exact symbolism, I think.
Now, granted, he is not front and center in your nativity scene. They kind of put him to the side. And nowadays they have stores that sell these, and they come in all array of people and professions.
All right. If you guys want to, if you have the time, if you could send us some links to some of this stuff afterwards so we can just post all this so people can.
Absolutely.
If people that can get a visual on like the pooping guy and the pooping log and all the other pooping things that are going to come up in this conversation. By the way, I didn't expect to say poop so much in this episode.
Exactly.
In fact, I didn't expect to say it at all. But here we are. All right.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. There you go. Literally.
All right. So we're going to, we can go through the best of meal. And then if you want to double back to any of the other traditions you might be interested in.
I'll let you just take the reins. You guys are on fire, so keep it rolling. Where do you want to go?
Like I said, we're going to be, by the end of this year, it'll have 18 countries. So we tried to do like a best of, and I've actually desired to actually do this kind of best of meal as one of our meals one year. All right, so everybody's running around the table and they're hungry to eat. We're still cooking. So we're going to start off our best of Christmas meal international with a snack. And a snack is the chin chin from Nigeria, which is Nigerian street food. It's basically little fried dough, bite-sized pieces of fried dough, little...
it's got sort of like nutmeg and spices in it. It's addictive, let's say that. Anything
some people
fried
compare it to clannad. Is that something in that area?
It's like a fried bread kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. So, but it's crunchy and sweet.
Yes.
So perfect little kind of snack to hold off the kids before the rest of the food comes.
Correct.
Right. So perfect segue because we're moving into appetizers. And we've picked two for each category here. And we have from France gougères. And gougères are the French cheese puffs. They're like a little, the size of maybe a Swedish meatball. But in ours, we have Gouda, Gruyere, and Parmesan. You heat up your milk and butter in a pan, and you dump in your flour, and then you take it off the heat. You mix in eggs and all your cheese. You make a dough. You roll it into little balls, bake it. They come up little cheesy puffs. It's fantastic. All right. And then alongside that, we have our croquetas de jamon from Spain, which are the ham croquettes. And those are delicious if you've ever had those. You have your ham, and then the dough actually has similar ingredients like a bechamel. So even though you're not putting cheese into it, it has kind of a creamy, cheesy texture to the dough with the ham when you fry it. So those are our two appetizers there. Moving on to salad category. We tried to find out what people would actually be eating in Bethlehem during Christmas. And one of the vegetable dishes we did enjoy from there was, I want to apologize in advance to all the countries for not pronouncing the names correctly.
That's okay. There's a lot. This show is so full of mispronunciations from me.
Okay, but
this is just
Baatanjan Bilabin is an eggplant dish. It's basically the recipe we found was roasted eggplant, and you have a yogurt sauce, and that's garnished with pomegranate seeds. Some people, I think, also garnish it with nuts, but we have a nut allergy in our house, so we stay away from nuts on most dishes. Not all of them, though.
Are you guys inviting me over for dinner at some point?
Please come.
Right.
Where do you guys live?
So we live right outside of Baton Rouge, kind of in the suburbia of Baton Rouge called Prairieville, Louisiana.
Originally from the New Orleans area.
I can hear that a little bit, I think.
Yes. The inner yet.
I have to speak more professionally. For anyone
No. I love the New Orleans accent. Please.
For anyone who's really scared of vegetables and you want to still have a salad, we did a New Zealand potato salad with our New Zealand Christmas barbecue. And we did that as a Christmas in July thing.
Christmas barbecue. Nice.
Yes.
Oh, delicious.
And one of my favorite Christmas presents that she bought was the New Zealand jandals. Everyone gets jandals, which are like sandals. Instead of like traditional flip-flops with the Y, you have the two horizontal straps on the sandal. I use them every day. All right, so
a little more practical than the poop log gift.
Exactly.
Yes.
That you got, yeah.
All right, moving on to soups. Our two soups here. We have classic French butternut squash soup. Yes, classic. You puree your squash, you have your stock, you mix in your cream and your butter. It's just, it's simple but delicious. But I also like the hearty Ukrainian borscht, which is a hearty beet soup. You warm that up on a cold winter's day. That's just like comfort food, I believe. Moving on to sides. On the more familiar side is the classic Greek spinach pie. I think we've had those multiple times throughout the year. Anyone living near a Greek and Lebanese restaurant is eating spinach pies throughout the year. But the star of the show by far is from Armenia. And this is, I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce it, but I believe it's hapama. And it's actually spelled Ghapama. And this is a stuffed pumpkin. So you're going to get a pumpkin smaller than your typical jack-o'-lantern size, but not so tiny that it gets lost. And this is stuffed with a rice, nut, and fruit mixture. And then you bake it all in the oven, take it out. When you slice it out, the presentation is beautiful because it kind of cascades out into a sunburst pattern, flower petal type pattern on the plate. And you grab your little piece of pumpkin with the stuffing. It's beautiful as it is delicious. That was one of my favorite things we have ever made. Yeah, I'm glad my son picked Armenia because to me, this is an underrated culinary destination just waiting, for people to visit. The food was fantastic there. All right, moving on to entrees.
Wait, hold on. On that note, has this exercise, what you guys have been doing, has that inspired you to actually go to any of these places?
We want to go everywhere. So internationally speaking, we have been to Ireland and Portugal and Spain.
And Morocco.
And 6 hours in Morocco. So yes, this does kind of pique our interest in visiting countries in the future.
Currently with his job, he's not really allowed to travel during the holiday season, but once retirement comes, it's full steam ahead.
Okay, so moving on to the entree round. I'm not sure how popular this is in every French household during the holiday season, but we love the classic beef bourguignon. That's the classic French beef stew with red wine as a star ingredient.
Delicious.
But competing with the French again are the Armenians. And we made the Monty dumplings from Armenia. And this is another beautiful display, another dish that is as pretty as it is tasty. And so you have fresh pasta dough stuffed with a ground meat filling, and that's arranged in a spiral pattern in your pan. It all comes out at once out of the oven, and that was just fantastic. So every meal needs a good bread, and we chose the St. Lucia saffron buns from Sweden, and these are an S-shaped bread roll. I don't know if you've ever seen them being from Norway.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so you know what we're talking about. All right, moving on to the dessert round. So we have
dessert coming, right?
Yes. It's how we love food.
Yes, moving on to dessert round.
Are we going to Dairy Queen?
So we have from the Bethlehem meal we have these, and I know I don't know how to say this properly, but it's spelled GHRAYBEH cookies. And what makes these cookies good, in my opinion, is the ingredient orange blossom water, which adds to the full flavor of the cookie there. From Armenia, once again, Armenia, the Armenian gata. The gata is anywhere from, I don't know how you would classify it. I think some people classify it as a pastry. It's kind of crunchy on the outside, flaky on the inside. you have this dough that you roll out, and it is like a sugary vanilla.
It's almost
filling.
between a croissant and like a arugula, and it has like a nut and spice filling that you roll.
Yeah, you roll it, and then like a traditional jelly roll, but then you kind of squash it down. So the bottom is flat and the top is rounded. And they all, once again, they look very good in addition to tasting good.
Right. It's beautiful. It's aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. Go Armenia. Then we have our classic French, the French never fail when it comes to dessert. So the pompe à l'huile, no, I said that wrong. But that is a sweetbread. And that's also has an orange. Yeah, so it's olive oil. I think we had orange juice, orange blossom water, orange zest in this sweetbread. It comes out as not a traditional loaf, but as a circle, at least the size of a dinner plate. Kind of a squash disc with a little, almost like a starburst.
After all that, do we have room to eat a dessert that's the size of a dinner plate?
And you're not going to slice it. You're not going to slice it up. You're going to tear it with your hands. It's not to be cut. It's to be torn. Everybody tears off a piece of their choosing.
Why is it not to be cut? Do you know?
The tradition is, I think, that you tear it with your hands. I'm not exactly sure why they don't cut it, but you're supposed to tear it with your hands. It's supposed to bring that person good luck. Why they do not cut it, I'm not exactly sure.
And then sticking with France is the classic bûche de Noël. And if you can pull this off aesthetically, it's fantastic. And Christy and our daughter did a fantastic job.
Actually, our daughter made it. She did a really good job.
The classic Christmas French log.
Yeah, the chocolate. It almost looks like a jelly roll. Yeah. People know what that is.
Yes, you can't go wrong with that. And you're going to wash all of this down with some wassail. And you can find a recipe for wassail throughout England, Ireland, Scotland, that corner of the world. You wash this whole meal down with some wassail.
Like I said, being from the New Orleans area where we grew up, there's no shortage of good food. So we definitely are a food kind of people.
One of my favorite places to go for food, hands down. We'll get back to the interview in just a moment.
There's no one like you, and there never will be.
From the producer of Bohemian Rhapsody, there are many legends, but there is only one. Michael, rated PG-13, in theaters April 24.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Now, back to the show. What a cool tradition. Thanks for sharing.
We've never done this full spread that I just said, but it is a fantastic idea to pull off.
I can hear our Armenian listeners or those of Armenian descent like, yeah, we got well represented here today. Now, that's awesome. Do you have any other sort of folklore type stories you want to share?
You had mentioned the 12 Yule lads of Iceland. So
talk about them.
Yule lads. So the Yule lads there are 13 of them, I believe, and there is their mother, Grilla, and her Yule cat. And so they come out, I believe, starting December the 13th, and they come out down from the mountains in Iceland, and there's one per night that comes. So they're kind of like little ogre/goblins, kind of tricksters, pranksters, shall you say. And they each have their own name and thing that they do. I'll show you. I have a little book called The Legend of the Icelandic Yule Lads. So just some of their names. There's Gollygawk, Stubby, Spoon Licker, Pot Licker, Bowl Licker, Door Slammer, Ski Gobbler, Sausage Swiper, Window Peeper, Door Sniffer, Meat Hook, Candle Bagger, and Sheep Coat Clod.
I have the same nicknames for my kids. How weird.
There you go.
All right.
And so they are deviants. They do little tricks, but also if they catch the children being good, they will leave them a little homemade treat in their shoe. And if they catch you being bad, they'll leave a potato in your shoe. So just note to the wise, behave. Their mother, Grilla, who is an ogre, witch sort of lady, she's the one the children really fear. If you are misbehaving, the legend is she will catch you and put her in her stew pot. And her Yule cat, who is a big black cat. If the children are supposed to receive a piece of new clothing on Christmas, if you are a child who is caught without a new piece of clothing, her Yule cat will come and snatch you away. So also as one of our gifts, we did give our children a piece of new clothing. We did not want them snatched away from Yule cat.
I mean, leave it up to the Scandinavians to have some like super dark element to this kind of thing. They love their noir, their, fun,
exactly.
kind of stuff. Amazing. Yeah, if you don't mind sending us a list, or just, it doesn't have to be every single thing, but if you have like some favorite recipes or anything you want us to throw out there to help people.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to reach out, I made an email address. It's loveallplaces@gmail.com. And they can ask questions, trade recipes. If
Please do.
Anyone out there thinks they have a better recipe for what we said, send it on by, or we can exchange recipes. And then also have that same at Love All Places on Instagram. I'm going to try and put some pictures up of some of this stuff.
Yeah. Super cool. I appreciate you reaching out in the first place, sharing your story around how you guys have been doing this as a tradition, and then being willing to take your time out this morning to come on and share it here with everybody. And I think it's a lot of great inspiration for the holiday season, but also year round, like again, and one of those ideas you could steal.
Yeah, because if it's late in the year and you think about wanting to do this next year, because she starts research early.
Yeah.
This is not a last minute deal.
It takes a bit of time to kind of get everything together. This is like, learning a whole new cuisine from
right.
I will say that
we do have another resource.
There is a book that I really like and that I use. It's called The Atlas of Christmas, and it's by Alex Palmer, and it's filled with all great little holiday traditions and myth and legend. And I really use this book a lot and have enjoyed it and have given it as gifts to friends and family. So I highly recommend that as well.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. I love that. The Atlas of Christmas. What's been the most meaningful part of this for you as a family, like doing this as a family together?
It's fun, but also I think our children have grown in their culinary skills, in their appreciation of culture, and their just a palate, willing to try new things.
For me, I would say, right, it's kind of expanding their view of the world, not that it's just your own little corner of the world. There's different places, different things to try, different people to see, different points of view. And I just also love being in the kitchen and cooking with them during the holiday time, trying new things, and the time we share together at the table.
Yeah, it's just fun. You have to eat every weekend anyway, so why not make it
a celebration?
A celebration, right.
Well, happy holidays. Thanks again for your time, and good luck with the next meals, and continue on your journey.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you and your family, and to all the listeners.
Merry Christmas.
There you have it. Thank you to David and Christy Bock for stopping by and sharing their wonderful tradition. Feel free to steal that idea. What a great way to explore the world from home. Now I'm going to read you this letter that David wrote. He asked me to read it at the end of the episode, and we're here. So here you go. He said, "Dear Jason, I believe you may have asked us, what does this project really mean to our family? After further reflection, I can tell you more deeply what it means to me. I grew up in a family where we rarely had experiences together involving all four of us at the same time. I can remember just one family vacation, one movie theater experience, and one night in a restaurant where my parents, my sister, and myself were all together, just us. I was therefore determined that I would take my entire family on vacation and have multiple family experiences if I was ever fortunate enough to do so. Well, I've been blessed enough to have some truly amazing family trips and some amazing family dinners. I'm so thankful to have such a wonderful wife that has taken us on this journey of Christmas around the world. Through this one activity, it seems as if we are traveling together on a family journey, making connections not only to each other, but to the wider world and the wider human family. And as a parent, I only hope our children appreciate all that we have been able to do together through our travels and through these meals. I think they do. Through these meals, we are trying to accomplish in our family unit what you do with your fantastic podcast, bringing attention to the varied beauty that exists throughout the world that can only be experienced through travel. Your podcast shows us that we are all part of one big human family and we are all traveling through this beautiful world together. So, to everyone out there, whether you are with family, friends, or walking amid strangers in the street, take a moment this holiday season to fully appreciate this beautiful world and to connect with the people in it. I think travelers are normally better at doing this than anyone else. And once again, thank you, Jason, for inspiring this world of travelers to have that appreciation and to make those connections. Warm wishes, many blessings, and happy travels to everyone. Merry Christmas. Love, David and Christy. What a beautiful letter. Thanks for taking the time to write that. Thanks for taking the time to share it. And they also shared a bunch of resources that they mentioned during this show, including books and the like. So we'll be sure to include that in the show notes. What a lovely episode. I will leave you with a quote now from Brian Tracy, who said, quote, "Always give without remembering and always receive without forgetting." Thank you for listening. Peace and love to you and yours. Happy holidays.
This podcast has been brought to you by ZeroToTravel.com. Ideas and advice to make your travel dreams a reality.